Hey all, welcome back to another Gamers United video. This week I'm going to be doing a video on a game that was just recently on sale on Steam. It's called the Stanley Parable. I'm not sure if any of you have ever heard of this game before, but I have to say it's quite possibly one of the weirdest and most unique games I've ever had the pleasure of playing. It's you don't run around and shoot people, uh, you don't gain levels, you don't do anything like that. You simply walk around and explore. And the more you walk around and explore, the more the game changes. I can't even begin to explain what it's like. So I'll play through a bit of it, and hopefully this video won't be too long, and you'll be able to get a bit of a taste for it. So we'll see what we can do, huh? Now, the first time I did play this, I tried it out last night, and I ended up playing it for a couple of hours. I only wanted to see what it was like, and I ended up sitting here for 2 hours straight just playing it, trying to figure out a bit of stuff. So, yeah, the loading screen here does take a bit of time. I do apologise. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. So, while it's loading, I'll try and explain a little bit about it. It's loading. That's good. There is a narrator throughout the game, and he narrates pretty much what is going on. So if I'm not talking, or if the narrator is talking, I'll try to stop talking so you can actually see it or hear it and read it.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard.
Boring.
Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Yeah, I'm sure he was.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
And now we play. So, this is basically the whole premise of the game. You take a look around and see what is going on. It's like I said, it's not an action game, it's nothing like that, but hopefully you'll see some changes as we go along. I just want to take a look at the key things. So you can use buttons and machines with that. Duck. And that's pretty much it. So there we go. Cool. So yeah, there's nothing to it really. Anyway, back into it. Resume game. And here we go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Now, for anyone that's going to play this, get very used to hearing that, because that's the first thing you'll hear, and this game restarts quite a bit. The further on you go, it restarts.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
His co-workers, of course not. So yeah, if you do play this, get used to that first part. I'll turn that off. Click. Yeah. Now, just in case you're asking why I'm not checking doors, you hear that? Hear that? They're all locked. Even my door. Everything shuts behind you. There are very few doors that you can open in this game.
Stanley went around touching every
Yeah, there
little
we go.
thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
So there you go. It will actually tell you what's going on. Yeah. But look, I'm honestly not too sure how the game works. But if you press everything, maybe it changes stuff, maybe it doesn't. I honestly don't know. But it's one of these games where you have to replay it just to see if if there's going to be any difference. So yes, it's an interesting concept. Oh, here we go. This is where it changes up.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
See, now what would you do? Well, now that they've said he went to his left. Would you follow what the narrator says, or would you go off on your own and do what you want? So, we'll follow what he says. All right, here we go. It's all shut and locked. Can't go in there. Can't go in there. See, this is why I don't bother checking them now, because they're all always locked. But anyway, yes, here we go.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
There was not.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Maybe he might. Maybe he might not. Yeah, now I sat here and read through all of this stuff. Oh, I watched this PowerPoint as well. My god, the more I watched this PowerPoint, the more I felt like I was at uni. I was going to sleep and slowly dying watching it. It was horrible. It's funny though, but yeah. If you choose to get the game, you can sit here and watch it yourself. The narrator does actually sort of give you a bit of shit as well, saying, oh, you decide that you're not going to move and you do nothing, and blah 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 blah. But yeah, you'll hear it. Here we go. Broom closet. Oh my god, it opens.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Yeah, there we go.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah, see, so I think this time we'll do exactly what it says. The whole thing of the game though is that you don't have to. You can do what you want. Oh, here we go. We'll check the bathroom. Went open. See, now in a couple of playthroughs that I did, that bathroom actually opened. So, it's quite interesting. Maybe now that door shut, we'll try it. No, see, it doesn't open. It's strange. It seems to be different every time you play it. What about this one? So you can see something there. But that won't open either. So, it's like it's forcing you to go through it properly.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845.
There you go.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2, 8, 4, 5.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Yes, I'm sure
He
it was.
stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Yes, we did. Okay, so here we go. Into the passageway. Down here. So yes, like I said, this is the whole premise of the game. If the narrator says that you go this way, but what happens if you don't? What happens if you go to the other door? What happens if you decide to go somewhere else? What happens when it says you go upstairs and you go downstairs instead? The game changes
Descending deeper into the building,
substantially.
Stanley
every
realized
time
he
you
felt
try
a bit
something different.
peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
So here we go. Through the bowels of the company.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Or the escape route. Yeah, escape. Alright, so we'll just keep going through here. And come up here, and lights on.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Sure we do. Alright. Here we go. Here we go. Computers.
Now the monitors jumped to life.
There we go.
Their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
427.
Stanley's
Right there in the
co-workers.
middle. That's my
The
office.
lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Yeah. There we go.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Maybe. Who knows? It's a
No.
mystery.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Probably. Who knows?
But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
Yes.
And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
See, so we can't go through that door. I'm pretty sure in my last few playthroughs I couldn't go through that door either. And in a few other playthroughs that room wasn't even there. So that gives you a bit of a hint what this game is actually like. It's always changing. Here we go. Mind controls idle, waiting input. Waiting input. Here we go.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Yeah. So no. We'll do what he says. There we go. Ooh. Okay. So what happened? What happened? Hello? Is that it? Is that the end?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
That's right.
Was it over?
Was it? Who knows? No, it's not over.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
I'm sure it was.
And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
That's right.
Where had his co-workers gone?
Yeah.
How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
Yeah.
But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
I'm sure it
And
will.
that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt
There
the
we
cool
go.
breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
So there you go. That's the very first playthrough, doing exactly what you get told. But What happens if you don't do as you're told? What happens if you run off? See? And we're back. So, what happens this time?
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
So. And see, look at the computers. Something's up. That wasn't like that before, was it? So. Let's go through here and take a look, eh? See, all these computers are all messed up. Waiting input. Input received. So let's keep going. We'll keep going. As I said, I'll try and make this video short, but, you know, who knows. With this game, you could play it for hours.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, he didn't.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah, maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I was just being defiant. Who knows?
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Yeah. And then I left.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Or did I? Did I go to my left? Or did I go straight ahead? We'll go here.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Yeah, see, so there's the door, and there's the conference room through there. Maybe we don't want to go there, though. Maybe we want to take the elevator down early. We'll do that, and see what happens. Loading, loading. Down we go.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office.
No.
He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go,
Which way?
From here, it's, left.
Yes.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
My mistake. Okay. Nope.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
Yes.
It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Down the stairs. You're going down and... Oh, hang on.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay,
no.
From the top.
And restart. See? Back at the office. So yeah, this is the Stanley Parable, and this is how it goes. And you just keep playing through, and the further you go on, and the more the game restarts, the more things get twisted. Look, some of you may pick it up because it is pretty cheap. I'm pretty sure it's still on special, but I'm not sure for how long. But it's pretty cheap overall. I think it's $15 for its full price. But yeah, without doing too many spoilers, the further on you go, it's let's say for instance you get to the 2 doors, the left and the right door. Which one do you choose? And at one point you get in there and they're both shut and you can't open them, and the narrator sort of loses his shit. And then there's another time where you get into that same room and there are no doors at all. All the doors are missing. There's just walls and you can't proceed. And like when I came out before, and all the computers had the loading screens on them, or the loading, the end is whatever it said, when it pops up on a loading screen. That hasn't happened to me before, even though I played it for 2 hours straight last night, and I'm playing it from the beginning now. That never happened to me. So you could literally play through this and find new stuff after new stuff, from what I can understand. And I suppose that's the whole premise of the game. I guess you're trying to work out the mystery of where all the co-workers have gone, but you're also trying to find an ending, but there isn't really an ending, but there is endings. It's so twisted and strange, but it's really, really enjoyable. If you have fun just mucking around on a game and seeing how far these kind of things can be pushed and what happens when you do your own kind of thing, then I suggest getting it, because it's quite interesting. And for $15, I mean, that's not really that much. So yeah, if you're interested, take a look for it on Steam. And anyway, yeah, I'll leave the video here. I have to say as well that it does have a demo, a very small demo, but it is very much like this game. It literally says it's the Stanley Parable demo, and takes you through the demo, but all these twisted things happen that is exactly like the game. So if you want a small taste of it for free, by all means, yeah, I can't suggest enough, play the demo. I've played it through myself, and it was excellent. It really was. So anyway, I'll leave it all here, and until next time, have fun and keep gaming.